Hey everyone, welcome back to the Flat Thunder channel. Just doing a little fantasizing here in my 1964 704 Wheelhorse. She's a beaut with a round hood up there. Not perfect, but I still like her. Pretending to be 85 degrees, sunny, and mowing the lawn. Right now it's only 9, well, maybe 15-ish, but it was 9 degrees this morning. Snowy and cold. So every once in a while you gotta pretend it's nice and warm and you're outside enjoying a good lawn mowing. This is my sweet lawnmower. And today it's way too cold to be using the lawnmower. So we need to find a place to store this unit. Right now it is in my way. So we're gonna try to put it up in the pallet rack. Stick with us, I'll show you how we're gonna do it. If you can see here on the floor, I made a chalk outline of one of the shelves. This corner over here, I used a saw cut line. And the chalk line here, that's the other corner. So anything we can fit inside this envelope will be on the main deck of the pallet rack. So ideally we could put the whole tractor in this area, but it just barely fits as you saw me sitting on the tractor. It was actually sitting inside this envelope, and it will fit if you pick it up and put it in there completely sideways. That doesn't really give us an ideal condition for the shelves because we'll use an entire shelf for the lawnmower. So we're gonna try to lay it out in a different orientation using these lines to see how it would fit on the deck and see if we can position it or situate it a little bit different for optimum spacing. This was my first thought, bring it in diagonal, you know, the shelf goes like this, bring it in diagonally, the front edge would hang off and then the back edge would hang off slightly. But this doesn't give you optimal spacing because then you have this weird triangle void area here on the back of the shelf, and then this would be really hard to access with the forklift or just placing other stuff up there. Then you have on the other side a similar triangle, so this is no good. Let's position it around and try something different. With this positioning, you can see the rear tires here right at the cut line. That's the back of the shelf. They can hang over slightly because the wall is not directly at the back of the shelf. So we have a little bit of room, less than 5.5 inches back there. So 4 to 5 inches overhang in the back. And then the chalk line's right here. So the whole front tire would be hanging off the edge. I think this is optimal spacing because now we have this whole other, my hand went out of view, we have this whole other rectangular area. Tilt you down a little bit. This whole other rectangular area here where we can put other items. We just need to build a support for the lawnmower such that it can sit on the shelf safely in this orientation, and we can pick it and sit it like this. So that's what we're going to try to do. I have some scrap steel over there. We're going to try to build basically a pallet. As you can see here, we have some C-channel that was left over from another project. I thought that the tires would fit in there width-wise inside the C-channel, but the rear ribbing on the rears is a little bit too wide. It almost fits down in there, but not quite. So we're gonna have to modify the end of the channel. This is the basic idea: C-channel under the tires. It'll support the front and the rears, and then we need to make some kind of lift point for the forks on the forklift. like lift pockets, so you can lift it up there. But that's the plan. Let's get busy. First, we're gonna lop off one of the angle cut corners of that second C-channel, and then we're gonna measure the other one that's straight and make them both the same. Now what I just did there is my little support that I stole from Dad. Thanks, Dad. For the outbound was too tall for my saw, so I blocked my saw up, but then it still wasn't enough. I was able to space the part up about 1.5 inches in the jaw. Whoops, forgot to adjust the downflow. Time out because I completely hosed something when I forgot to touch the downflow. Either broke the blade or threw it off of the drive. Whoa! Yep, definitely not on where it's supposed to be. This is going to be one of those repairs where I'm learning how to do this, because this is actually the first time I ever put a blade on this, and someone's going to tell me they can do it in 5 minutes. That's great. Great job, buddy. Anything could happen right now. This thing might come flying out of there, but we got it on the top pulley, we got it on the bottom pulley, and I'm just gonna bump the motor and see if it comes shooting out. I think we're winning. Too hateful for a worn out slippy blade that I tried to bend the piss out of. It's probably missing a couple teeth. Well, this time I'm going to try my hand at cutting it vertical. That's the basic gist of it. We got both channels cut. Oh, one's bigger than the other one. I didn't notice that until now. They're both 6 inches wide, but the web on this one's much bigger than the other one. Ah, bummer. Round 2, moved it up to the bench vise. Unfortunately, my jaws aren't wide enough or don't open wide enough to hold it. So we're just gonna try to balance it in there. Hopefully it stays up there. Just gets really hard to bend over that whole time. I think we may have caused a little bit of a problem here. Oops. Might have overloaded the old angle grinder here. Finally got this side cut off. As you saw in the video, we completely smoked the old DeWalt that we were using to make these cuts. She is completely cooked. So I had a brand new Milwaukee, and I was able to put the blade on that, and that thing was just working like a champ. And then guess what happened? Made it through about one cut. Yeah, that ain't no good. Smoked that one too. So 2 dead angle grinders, and now I have 0 angle grinders. But this is a real nice cut. I didn't do anything to clean this up. Take you off of there and show you a little closer view. I mean, for a hot saw blade, a little bit there because I didn't get the corner cut out. Grind that out or file that out, but you know, there isn't a lot of different cuts. There's like maybe one little different surface there. So not bad for an angle grinder with a cutoff wheel. 2 dead grinders. You have to throw these right in the scrap heap. The DeWalt I kind of expected because it's really old. It's over 10 years old, and I've been beating it up for 10 years. This brand new Milwaukee, I mean, this is my first time using it. It's still hot. Must just be a super light duty unit, and these guys just can't handle these cutoff blades like they used to. Junk. All that cutting was basically to remove this ear of the channel for the rear tires. They're not much wider than the channel. They actually almost would fit in there, but they would catch on the lugs just a little bit and sit on top. So now we need to get tie pieces to connect the left and the right. We're at the cheapo bench grinder. I got the nice American made one over there on the left that we still need to install. Swap this one out or put this one somewhere else where we can use it or beat it up. So we're going to use this to try to chamfer some edges on those cross beams because we completely smoked both of our grinders. So right now this is all we got. Starters out of this thing. Wasn't ideal, but did what I wanted to do. Just a real small chamfer. The pieces we had just dusted the edges with and put a small chamfer on them on the bench grinder were these 2 pieces. These are going to tie the 2 basically tracks or runways for the tractor together, so it's one entity. I squared it up roughly on the chalk lines, so each side track for the tires is a line, and checked my square to retack it. We're going to double check it and then fully weld it out. I have my propane torch. I'm going to heat the center section a little bit to burn off any impurities there. I already wiped it down, but this will help burn off anything that's not supposed to be there. We're gonna put these side hooks on here so we can grab this with the forklift, and I'm gonna try to put the channel here so it's underneath the pedal but above the tire, and it points down so it'll kind of wrap around the fork and to kind of extend this way. I have to assume the center of the gravity of this whole thing is somewhere around in here, if not here, but we can't get back that far with the deck on, and I'd like to make it such that it works with the deck. So I'm gonna put the uprights here so it misses the deck on both sides. Put our little C channel pointing down to capture the forks, and we'll extend it back here a little bit, and then we'll weld it out and test it with a forklift. Okay, so we got our shorter pieces cut, and the idea is the forklift fork will fit in between the C channels and kind of capture it. And it's going to go in between the pedal but above the tire. So we need to weld it on such that you can still roll it on and off, but it misses the pedal. The other side doesn't have a pedal, but we want them to be both at the same height. So let's get to her. Another part of the problem, which I just thought about, is the forks have to fit in between the tire and there. Got about 1 3/4 from the top of the tire to the inside edge of our lift pocket, but I can't really go up anymore. I mean, maybe 3/16 of an inch on the pedal there. So we're gonna give it a go like this. If it doesn't work, we might have to deflate the tire a little bit, but I really don't want to go above this, because then I'm going to hit this guy. So we're just going to go with this, see what happens. It's a moment of truth. Let's see if this guy's going to roll on here and fit on here. We have a few other small odds and ends. I think I'm going to put some hooks on the front so you can't drive off the end with it, but really you're captured by these fork pockets. And then maybe some flip up brackets on the back. That way it can't ever roll off. But we're at a point where I want to make sure it fits, and I want to see if we can pick it with this before we finish up all the finite details. Like a glove, just fits. Gonna be a little leery how the forks fit above the tires and beneath that. But we'll have to see. Hopefully this doesn't bend up and hit the pedal. I'll have to watch that when we pick it. That's still hot. Got old Johnny number 5 fired up, lining the forks up with our stake pockets. Moment of truth, folks. I don't know what's gonna happen. These ears might fold open instead of picking the whole thing up. It might pick up a little bit and tip, not for sure. Right now we're just testing the design, see what happens. We may need to connect those pieces or do something a little bit different with the bracing on these pockets. Moment of truth. Liftoff. Yeah. Talk about just fitting. That works great. You still got a minor gap in between there. We're not hitting the pedal. I think we're ready to rock and roll. Yeah. Woo! This here has been in a little, but it was like that when I welded it. I think this upright sucked in. This tire's rubbing a little. Probably because this piece is sucked in. You can see there's a gap there. No big deal though. Yeah, buddy. See if we can take it and sit it on that upper tier up there. That's not where it's going to go permanently. And I also want to add, you know, some little kick ups here so it can't roll off. But we'll do that after we test it. This is too much fun. Let's put her up there. She's up there. We did it. Super happy. This adds a lot of storage space in the garage because that tractor isn't that big, but it did take up a lot of space on the ground floor. Just as we drew it on the floor, the front's hanging over. That's a large reason why we needed the skid. But the skid also allowed us to pick up above. Well, it's a little interesting getting it off of the tires. I think that's going to take a little bit of practice because there's not a lot of room in between the pockets and the tires. So I think maybe I'll lower the air pressure in the tires but it works. Yeah. We got the Wheelhorse in the pallet rack. That's awesome. It was a long time coming. And the best part is, this is all scrap steel. Worst part, killed 2 grinders in the making of this. So we're gonna have to look for a new, heavier, dutier grinder. One that's probably meant for 6-inch cutoff wheels, although I hate using them. Maybe I get lucky and somebody will send me a free Milwaukee circular saw metal cutting. I don't know, I'll take it. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, leave your questions and comments in the section below, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We gotta get this bad boy up in the pallet rack so we can put everything away. Catch you later, everybody.